Hey, hello. Welcome back to Separator for AWS online training. Uh, we're about to start session number 13, Enabling TLS SRTP. This is an important session. It's a short one also, but it's an important session because it's the one that will allow you to create secure connections between remote users and your unified communications or IPPS environment without having to use TLS or SRTP on the PBX. So let's move on. So as I said in this session, you will enable TLS SRTP between remote extensions and the separator firewall, but we will leave a standard communication SIP UDP downstream to the IPPBX. This way, what we're really doing is delegating anything related to TLS SRTP to separator, and we are not loading at all any additional uh, effort on the PBX side. All the conversion between SIP UDP and SIP TLS, as well as the conversion of the media encryption to unencrypted media RTP to SRTP will happen inside the separator firewall. For simplicity, in what we are showing here, we are creating, we're going to need certificates anyway, but I usually uh, is a recommendation to use commercially available certificates using a trusted CA, a certification authority. And but you can just for testing purposes use a self-signing certificate, and you can do that directly from the GUI. All the certificates are managed under the basic configuration here, and there is a tag here called certificates. And you just add a new certificate, you put a name, and if this certificate is not created yet, you just click on the button that says create a new, and then you're going to be able to start creating your certificate. This is the window that will pop up once you select the create certificate. You have to fill the information associated to the certificate. The only important thing to know is that the common name must be an FQDN or an IP address associated to the separator public site. So here you have two options. One is to create a certificate or create a certificate signature request. If you are planning to use a certification authority, you need to create a request. But if you are self-signing certificate, you can just click here, create self-signed certificate. Okay, once you do that, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get the final creation of the certificate with all the information associated and the keys and all the encryption, etc., etc. And you're going to see the results here on the screen. And from that point on, this certificate has been created. Then next step is to create a certificate. Enable the signaling encryption. To enable signaling encryption, you have to go to SIP services and select the tag that says signal encryption. You enable signaling encryption, and now you're going to put the interface. This is the external interface. This is the certificate that you created, and you are associating that certificate to that interface. Here you select if you want to use the FQDN and if you want to require the client certificate. Um, if you are going to require client certificate. Here you select the type of TLS uh, encryption that you are going to use. In this case, we are using TLS version 1 and SSL version 3. And this is the section where you are going to put the certificate also for when you are originating a TLS connection. Okay, so this completes the signaling part. Now we're going to need to enable the media encryption. One important thing is remember that when you let me show you in the live interface much better. If we go to SIP services, okay, if you remember the basic configuration for SIP services, we are using port 5061. So that means that the phones will need to change now and send the traffic to 5061 instead of 5060. And you're going to need to enable TLS on the phone instead of with UDP. So in signaling encryption, okay, in reality, the only thing you need to enable is the TLS connection on the specific interface that you're using for external connection. Okay. Here you can enable or disable to check the domain match. Usually in real implementation, you should enable this. Okay, so media encryption. Let's go back to the. Okay, for media encryption, in our example, we are enabling SRTP for all remote users located in the office. As an example, as the office is the name of the um, IP addresses group that we created for remote computers in the office. Okay, so you need to enable media encryption here. Then you have to uh, assign which media network is the one that you are going to refer to. And here you are saying this media network is going to work on SRTP. That means that any offer with media negotiation on this specific network will always enforce SRTP. You can enable or disable transcoding. You should normally enable it because that's the way the ingate will be able to transcode from SRTP to RTP. Okay, and here you are saying that any other network is using clear text, and clear text means no encryption. Okay, and also you are allowing transcoding. So that having done that, any traffic on this network on the office between the office and the ingate will be with media encrypted and will be transcoded if that call is being um, um, connected to any other destination other than the office, like the PBX, for example. Okay, so those are the only two things that needs to be configured. Of course, if you have more other networks that will be using SRTP, you just need to add them on this table here. Okay, that concludes how to enable TLS SRTP. If you have any questions, you can always send email to trainingquestions@engage.com. And, uh, and that's all for this session, and I hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.